Hello, this is I Break for Bunnies, and I wanted to talk about Project Judge, if for no other reason than I am very excited about it. It's known as Judge Ai's Shinigami no Yuigon in Japan, pardon the pronunciation. The game is an action detective courtroom thriller beat 'em up, essentially, that is being described as a cross between Yakuza and Ace Attorney, and Tim Rogers on Gotoku.com has noted multiple times that it feels like a Japanese television drama in more ways than one. He's noted it multiple times, so all of these things make it sound just very exciting to me. So to start, let's go over the premise of the game and some of the story notes we have so far. Takayuki Yagami is our main character. He's a defense lawyer who became quite famous for getting a client acquitted of murder, which is a very big deal since almost all defendants are found guilty in this court system. So this results in most of the calls to the office requesting Yagami, and you can see that causes some frustration for his coworker Shintani. You can see that in the story trailer that they gave us. One of the calls, though, it turns out to be a request from his previous client, a guy named Okubo Shinpei, who murdered his girlfriend and set the apartment on fire. Whether or not he's actually guilty is technically up in the air, but it certainly doesn't look good. We see him being taken from the apartment by the police, covered in his girlfriend's blood. But I say his guilt's up in the air for two reasons. One, we see later in the trailer that Yagami is apparently talking to him and asking if he is actually guilty, and Okubo is vehemently denying it. And two, because it's never that simple. It's not going to be straightforward. These types of games rarely are, and they love to throw curveballs in there to just kind of keep you guessing. And then that's one thing I've learned about this studio, this team behind the Yakuza games. They really love their curveballs. They like to keep you on edge. They like to keep you guessing, and that's got me thinking that there definitely is much more to this than meets the eye. So I expect a lot of twists and turns. Also, I should note that a serial killer is involved in this. Now, I don't know if this Okubo guy is being accused of being that serial killer, if there's just something that Yagami comes across along the way and stumbles into this serial killer business. But it has been brought up. I see serial killer being thrown around in the game's descriptions and descriptions for the story. So that is some part of the plot. Now, ultimately, Yagami's reputation, understandably, takes a hit after his client is arrested for murder again. So flash forward 3 years, and Yagami's now working as a detective instead of a lawyer, and is working alongside a partner, Shoji Kaito. Yes! I am all about the buddy cop action, and Kaito really has that look of a character that would fill that lovable tough guy spot and allow us to have some witty banter going on between the two of these guys. So you really can't go wrong with that. I'm excited to see kind of the character building between those two. Now, moving on to gameplay, Yagami's doing his detective work in a very familiar fictional city called Kamurocho. You'll have to tell your victims using a sketch to help identify them in the crowd, follow them using cover to avoid being spotted, in case they stop or start to get suspicious, and you may eventually have to chase them down, which will be QTE based. You'll follow on-screen button prompts to avoid obstacles, but it still all looks very fun. Some missions you'll have to put on the appropriate disguise to access certain areas or venues, to gather information about your targets to use against them, and sometimes you'll have photograph missions. You can use your phone, or in some cases a drone, for those, hard to reach affair suites. And if you get the perfect shot of these sketchy people doing sketchy things, your rewards increase. We do have combat. It is brawler style. Another thing will look and feel familiar to Yakuza fans. Multiple fighting styles to choose from. There's lots of combos and power attacks that very much resemble heat actions. So, there's definitely going to be lots of opportunity for beating the bad guys up as well. And of course, what would Kamurocho be without its distractions? They have noted that there's going to be Project Judge specific, mini games and events outside of the main story. So there's going to be lots to do and see with this game, and they've shown that they can handle that very well without making it feel out of place or without it taking away from the main story. So this game is looking absolutely fantastic. The more I see of it, the more I want to get my hands on it. The team has shown what they can do with their gameplay and storytelling. It's always been absolutely wonderful, everything I've seen from them so far. I'm going to be really chomping at the bit while we wait on this Western release in 2019. The demo is available, though, in Japan right now, and will release there and in other Asian markets on December 13th. And with that, I'm going to leave you with this gorgeous outro to the demo that showcases the theme song for the game. It's called Arpeggio by Alexandros. Thank you so much. Bye.
I'm sorry うまく笑えない